Good evening, sir. Looking back on your years of study, ministry, speaking to both friendly and hostile crowds, writing books and such, I think one of the other questions might have touched on this. What is the one piece of advice you would give to those who are following in your footsteps?
Wow. First of all, I hope they would choose somebody else's footsteps to follow. I'm serious. That is, they've got better people to follow. It's hard to reduce something so significant to one statement. So if you'll allow me the privilege of saying a couple of things. Number one is this. I said this, I think, the last time I was here or the time before last. Calling and equipment are two different things. You can be gifted in a certain way, and if your calling matches your gift, it's a beautiful combination. If you go into a calling without a gift, it's miserable for you and the audience. If you just have a gift but with no calling, you're just wasting all that God has poured into you. So I would say identify the combination of the gift and your calling. It's very important. Your professors and your classmates will help you a lot in that. If they recognize a giftedness in you, they will encourage you and tell you to nurture that gift, to feed that gift, to develop that gift. And I can guarantee you, if you honor God in that gift, He will bring somebody into your path or a situation into your path where He leads you into His call and confirms it. But the second thing I would say to you is probably the most important thing I would say. Wherever He calls you, whatever He equips you with, if you don't have a humble spirit and a humble heart, you will squander or abuse what it is that God has given to you. This is, the old joke about the guy who said, I was going to speak on humility, but I'm going to save it for a larger audience. It's that kind of common malady. And I think this thing called hubris, pride, it's a deadly thing. I see it again and again and again. You just hope and pray that if anybody sees it in you, that they will caution you, or God, they will caution me or say, that's not coming through well. It sounds a lot like a very confident, egotistical person. Then you have to take a step back and say, I'm sorry, I didn't intend it that way. Because this very voice that you have can go like that. Go like that. I think of Samuel Taylor Coleridge. My work in Cambridge for the brief stint I did there was in the Romantic Writers. Samuel Taylor Coleridge is a brilliant poet. He squandered it away with drugs and all of that till he couldn't write anymore. And he sat in his room one day desperately for an hour or two, hoping he could at least frame one stanza in the caliber that he was used to. And he put that quill down and wept, and he said, it's gone. Gifting can be squandered, and humility can plunder the soul. The lack of humility can plunder the soul. So I would say to you, be a humble person, find your gifting and calling, and use it for the glory of God, knowing it's all of Him. He just happens to have chosen you for that moment and that time. He could have called anybody else to do it.